Yeah, fellas, tapping in for a quick video. Reason being is this bitch done it now. Now, before we get busy, let me just say this. I'm not one of these guys that has problems with real sisters. I know it's a lot of sisters out there that don't share this mindset. But unfortunately, a lot of you will get hit in the crossfire. And y'all don't call out this type of foolishness that comes out of black women's mouths. Yes, I know that black men, some of us need to step our stuff up, or all of us. I think every man out there feels that, we can always do better. But to try to put down people, nah, we're not going for that. And I'm pretty sure we're uniform as black men when it comes to what it is that we're going to tolerate out here. You see all of that nonsense that's been going on for the last 30, 40, 50 years about you vocalizing what it is that you're not satisfied with? And then once the brothers get the microphone over the last 10 years, all of a sudden these women are now offended. But they've been popping cash shit, so this is going to be the reaction. And I am sorry that beautiful black women that do not think like this, that appreciate black men, often get caught up in this gender war nonsense. But until you vocalize the fact that you don't stand by with these other black women who are imposters, people who go out here and talk shit about men as if this ain't the same men who have been their fathers and their uncles and got them to the places that they ungrateful asses are in today. Until you stand up for that, unfortunately, you will be a part of this. So I hope that you start vocalizing your displeasure with the way that some of these women be out here talking reckless about black men. And until that day, this is what's going to be the message to these black men. Do whatever the hell makes you happy. Because I promise you, these other women sit back and they often talk about how this ungrateful batch that we got out here over the last 20, 30 years, how this batch talks down about you, but they recognize that you are something fucking special. It has been that way for a long time. I am a black man, just like many other black men who may be listening to this, who has a black mother that I love, but my son's mother is a black woman. And if I had to marry a woman out here ever in life, no matter where she be, because I'm not participating in these U.S. laws, I'm just going to keep it real with you. She going to be a black woman. She going to have some type of African something up in there. But I date whoever the fuck I want to date because I seek cooperation. I seek respect in relationships. I seek to be with a woman that appreciates all the stuff that a man goes through to make her life easier. And that's the responsibility that I live with. And I take it on every day, just like so many of these other black men. And we are willing to put our women in positions to where they can remain in their femininity. But often we have these loudmouth bitches that want to sit up here and run their mouth talking bad about black men. And let's start there.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus,
that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well.
Now, Eboni knows damn well she's out of bounds for that statement. When you even look at her in the camera, she's making these weird ass facial expressions. It's almost like she's just gaslighting people. Even if you had to say some reckless shit out of your mouth to get everybody talking about you? You really want to go to that level? You of all people? Now, in all transparency, I don't know much about Iyanla. You know, I've covered her content in the past, and MG, you would know way more about this than I would. I don't know if she's always had this position where it seems like she's trying to help women understand what men go through or try to speak up for men somewhat. I don't know if she's always been like that or this has been some transition. And being honest, in some ways, I'm glad I never grew up on some of this shit that y'all know too much about, because I don't even want to be involved. But when you start talking about hardworking black men, are you out of your goddamn mind? Let me educate you. Oh yeah, the person that you are listening to, me, my father was a bus driver. Been on the job for at least, 30 years as far as I can remember. Retired at the age of 62, left with a pension. We had city benefits. When me and my brothers ever needed to go to the doctor, we pull out that GHI card and we never had to pay for anything. No co-pays, no nothing. That man bust his ass. I went to Clark Atlanta University. My brother went to school up in Michigan, and my little brother became a chef. All from a bus driver. Hardworking man. In that interview, when she was running her mouth, she was talking about protection and safety and all that type of stuff. A bus driver is responsible for everybody that's on that damn bus. The same way the doctor is responsible for you when you're in the doctor's office. But if you were smart, you would understand that. But you just go out here running your mouth, willing to talk bad about the blue collar brothers, the brothers that keep the infrastructure going. You know how many people depend on a damn bus driver to get to work every morning? Without half of these bus drivers, New York City would be shut the fuck down. We see it all the time. When there's a blizzard day and the trains and the buses are not operating, some people still got to go to work. People depend on these guys. They get shit moving. So instead of talking down about these brothers who go out there, bust their ass to become something, why don't you ask yourself why the brother who has $500,000, he's a millionaire, he's the white collar brother, why he ain't even choosing you? Why you got to talk down about blue collar men? These men love their jobs. I remember going to the depot with my father and seeing brothers up in there talking, and when they was on, they call it their lunch breaks. Sometimes they'll call it swing, or sometimes you'll get to the end of the line and you'll see a dispatcher and him and another brother be talking at the end of the line. But you don't know nothing about what the fuck you talking about. That's a sense of camaraderie, and these brothers been doing this for years. Now, fellas, I can only speak to what goes on in New York City, but my father's a six-figure guy. And he got no college debt. But he raised some good children, and he loved his damn job. And that man was from deep down south, and he made a good living. And we grew up in Lower Manhattan, black kids. Family go back down south for years and years and years. And so many other brothers made that trek from wherever they were from down south, whether it be to Chicago, whether it be to New York City, whether it's out there working in the barter system, whether it's up in DC, Atlanta using the martyr, or up there in Philadelphia using the scepter. The nerve of you, bitch.
Eboni K. Williams, we talked about her yesterday, and now she's doubling down on the fact that she'd never date a bus driver. This is what she said yesterday.
I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. But could it be that Black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. No, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
Condescending bitch. She aspires for you to dream higher and achieve all of these different things that you haven't achieved. She wants you to level up. She wants you to be at the best version of yourself. Have you ever took the fucking time to understand that these people are happy? Because last time I checked, I don't even know too many brothers or too many sisters that got your name in their mouth other than you making ridiculous ass comments like this. There is no black women that I know that say, yo, I want to be like Eboni K. Williams when I grow up. None of them say that. Just like black men don't walk around talking about we want to be Steve Harvey sucker ass. Oh, they were C&D students, so they were coddled by their parents. That's the reason why they're a bus driver. It's a bunch of bullshit. So instead of your educated tackhead ass being focused on these men who have made inroads for numerous families within black communities all throughout this goddamn country, bus drivers, train conductors, instead of you focusing on these blue collar brothers out here, answer this question. Why is it that none of the established white collar brothers who are out here achieving great things want to date your ass? Why are they not checking for you? I'll give you the simple answer. Because these same black men who go on to achieve greatness in the corporate world, in the private sector, entertainment, whatever have you, they still have brothers, cousins, uncles, fathers, and grandfathers that are blue collar. And even those brothers are not going to tolerate the disrespect that comes out of some useless, ungrateful, miserable modern woman's mouth when it comes to talking about other black men. And if it wasn't for these brothers, infrastructures wouldn't even work the way that they work now. So instead of you shitting on these guys, ask yourself, why aren't the educated brothers, the brothers that are on your level, quote unquote, why are they not choosing your dusty ass? And let's get on to the saddest part about this.
Single motherhood. Now, I feel like you've spoken about this before, so I know it's something you wanted to do.
I have to credit all of you ladies at this table, because one of the first times I was on as a guest host, remember, Sunny, one of the hot topics we talked about was the anonymous nature of sperm donors. And so I got an education on that right here live on TV with Hot Topics at The View. Turns out I now have a known donor. I went through California Cryobank. Fantastic experience. And at 18, my future child, God willing, will be able to know the name, identity, and last known location of their father.
Now, ain't that some shit? This miserable ass woman who is so educated, who has achieved so many different things in her life, can't even get a celebrity brother, an athlete, some elite brother who's a doctor or a lawyer, real estate mogul. She can't get none of these brothers to bust a nut up in her juice box to give her a kid. You would think that she would easily have the ability to go out there and meet some guy who's a freak of nature, who meets all of these select male traits. She can't even get him to bust up in her juice box and give her a kid. She got to go to some cryotherapy route, some other shit, and then now the child at the age of 18 will know who the dad is. But she will not know who the dad is, as in she has no relationship with the man. She is not married to the man. She has no real connection to the man, because no man wants to put up with a disrespectful, potty mouth, loose lips, thought box, pass through, walk around, jump off, I'ma leave her ass at the bus stop type of bitch who runs her mouth talking like this and talking down about men. No man's putting up with that shit. And she's been out here talking about she done tried all these other types of men. What happened with them? What happened with her marriage? Failed. She even went as far as to talk about how she was a bad wife. Now, you as a productive black male, I want you to hear me on this part. This ungrateful, unruly, educated tackhead will have you believe that because she sat on some therapist's couch that got rid of all of this energy that she has, all of this fake delusional entitlement that she has? No, she's still a bad wife. So moving on from this low-life chick who has no value out here in these streets because nobody is checking for her, I want you brothers to listen to this part. You date whoever it is that you decide to date. Don't let anybody shame you about the choices that you make. Whether it be dating, relationships, marriages, or you're taking it to the next level, it is your decision. And if you choose to not date black women who have this type of mindset, you choose to pay them no attention, you choose to not lay up with them, you choose to just get the hell away from them, it is your right. All I want is for you guys to be happy. Now, there's some good sisters out here. I'm just going to reiterate that part in closing. But at no point should you ever have to tolerate the disrespect because you are happy, because you have made something for yourself, because you choose to work a job that you are passionate about. You're a good person. You're a family man. You have the ability to change a woman's life. And if she is not happy with that, or she feels like you're underachieving, you go find you a woman who appreciates you for who you are, whether that be here or that be elsewhere. You have every right to sell out for femininity.